I've been long time friends with a sociopath. He is honestly like my brother. r/r credit by online comps. Serious friends of sociopaths/psychopaths. What was your most uncomfortable moment with them? I remember from a very early age that my mom would just stand in the entrance to my room with a knife. This didn't happen very often, maybe 2 to 3 times a year. When I was 9, I finally asked her why she would do this. I'll never forget how she said this. She looked me dead in the eyes and said that I was a mistake and she was deciding if she should do what she should have done a long time ago. I asked to move in with my grandma a week later. Thinking about how she said it still gets my heart racing 22 years later. I don't know if I can accurately describe it, but every single hair on my body stood straight up. I was paralyzed with fear, and I felt like if I moved too suddenly she would strike. Backstory: Mom had me when she was 16 and regularly told me that I ruined her life. She was a habitual drug user and alcoholic. She told me that if she had the money she would have had an abortion. In high school, my boyfriend at the time and I shared a math class together. It was well known we were dating, so I would always take him his homework via teacher's request if he missed. He skipped a lot. I broke up with him over Christmas break. He cheated on me. Math teacher obviously still assumed we were together, so he asked me to bring him his homework. I did. Got to his house, wanting to drop it off at his doorstep. He told me to come in and explain it to him. He locked his bedroom door and started saying shit like, "If I can't have you then no one else can. I could get you back in a second. Just admit it," etc. Then the true kicker: if I killed you, or if you died, I would keep your body in my closet or hung behind my door just to have sex with it. Disclaimer: I never had sex with him, and I think that killed him. He then proceeded to try to make out with me and jam his hands down my pants. He actually thought it was endearing and had no idea why I was so upset. I got out, called my mom to pick me up, and ran back to the school. He lived close. Terrifying. To this day I'm still horrified about it and him. Last I heard he was trying to be a magician. Looks like Charles Manson and is in and out of psych wards. We were cleaning our guns. This guy pointed the gun at me and asked me if I trusted him. "Do you think the gun is unloaded?" he asked me. I could be negligent or evil and I could left a bullet in there. He pull the trigger, laugh, and carry on cleaning the gun like nothing. He though it was funny. Edit. Fact. You need to tell the police. We were the police. I hope you don't associate with this person anymore. Nope. Second Amendment. Not American. Gun training. He knew it was against all regulations. That's why it was so funny according to him. This guy still has a gun. Nope. This was 20 years ago. His gun privileged was revoked from him after an incident when he shoot at a wall over a colleague's head. He shoot wide over his head and was surprised by everyone's response to the incident. "I wasn't trying to kill him or anything, that's why I shoot over his head," he said. Someone in our extended family. He offered to kill my cat for me to save a vet bill. The cat wasn't sick or old. He was just very enthusiastic about helping us out with that particular issue. He's not allowed to be alone with pets anymore. Edit. This wasn't the first incident, actually. At a family gathering he took the family dog for a walk. He returned with the dog soaking wet. It was December, and he claimed the dog had chased a squirrel into the river. People didn't entirely believe that story, somehow. He also tends to just leave gatherings without telling anyone, sleeps in the garden instead of on the couch, and he rarely blinks. He is just altogether a little odd. He had a gas-powered pellet gun and we were 13 years old, and it was one of my first times being high. He had me against the wall and gave me 5 minutes to choose between him shooting me in the genitals or in the head. If I didn't choose, he said he was just gonna go nuts. I just kinda fidgeted in place saying, "You're gonna kill me." I was 13 and high, and at the end of the 5 minutes he told me he was fucking with me. He also emptied a huge box of matches into the sink one time, and when we all told him not to, he called us pussies and lit it all on fire. He was a major pyro. I'm pretty sure he's in jail now. I'm 19 and he's 20. When he told my GF, sitting beside me at the time, that if she did something horrible to me and we broke up, that he would murder me for her. Edit. Clarity. Hopefully that helped. I was making some brownies. My sister was visiting for some reason. Maybe it was Christmas. Anyway, I like my brownies gooey and hot, so I'm cutting into them a little earlier than I should. Sister flips the duck out and starts beating on me, grabbing heavier and more dangerous weapons from whatever she can reach. Pants, rolling pins, etc. Becomes a scuffle where she keeps screaming stop hitting me, while all I'm doing is grabbing her wrists to avoid taking one to the head. Maybe it's not the most uncomfortable she's made me, or the most evil thing she's done. And she's done worse to people we aren't related to, I know. But when people ask why is your sister so crazy, that's the memory that comes into my head. Her gigantic freak out over brownies that I was making. I dated someone who I now believe is a sociopath. The most uncomfortable thing while we were dating was that he would constantly whisper things in my ear in public, in earshot of other people, like, "Do you think I look hot right now? Or do you think I'm cool?" And the first few times I thought he was joking, so I laughed, and he'd get angry. He wanted a serious answer. He wanted me to tell him how much I wanted to jump his bones right there in front of all of our friends while they were watching and listening. I'd get lectured afterwards like, "You know, you really insulted me personally when you laughed at me in front of everyone." He could also cry on cue to get what he wanted, and as soon as he got what he wanted, it would instantly switch off and he'd turn very serious and tell me what a horrible person I was. The instant emotional switches are disarming. When he broke up with me, I went from being his favorite person in the world to instantly at the very bottom of his shit list. He laughed when I cried on multiple occasions, calling me ridiculous. What's very alarming about people like him is how many people they can get on their side with their charm. None of his current friends know anything about his behavior behind closed doors. And they are all new people. All the people who caught on when we were dating are gone from his life. He has convinced his new friends that I'm a psychopath because I tried to tell others what happened, so whenever I say anything about what a creep he is, I get brigaded by the new people who are now being manipulated. Also, he is completely dead in the face and eyes until you interact with him, and then it's like he becomes animated. I've been long-time friends with a sociopath. He is honestly like my brother. We have developed this relationship that basically treats me like his moral compass, but it doesn't always work. He is still manipulative and cruel at times, and he does only truly care about himself. But he tries to be a good person because he doesn't want to be an asshole. This being said, my most uncomfortable moment with him would have to be when he was telling me about watching some guy almost die. He was telling me how he knew he should have stopped watching and helped him, but he was too interested in what the outcome would be if he didn't help. It was creepy to know that as hard as he may try to be a decent person, sometimes he still can't help himself. He once tried to manipulate me to come in and work basically 50 hours, 10 of which would be off the clock, so that I didn't get overtime, because he knew that if he could keep labor low on his shift he could get a promotion. He would also expressly lie to my face about giving me a break, saying verbatim, "I'll come back here in a moment and take over so that you can go on break." Then he would just never come. Then when the time has passed to where a break would be irrelevant, that is 30 minutes before my shift is over, he'd offer again. Whoa. That's one hell of a scary subreddit. Here's a cat in its liquid state. You only need to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching, and always be safe.